I think the happiest place on earth is not Disneyland, although I was there the other day. I think it's here in the studio. And I find that anytime that things don't work out exactly the way that I want them, I'm still here, right? And so it's not about like being prepared for the perfect thing to happen. It's about the resilience to snap back into your natural state when things don't work out, when the technology doesn't work out, all those things. And it's incredible because on December 1st today, we're going through Proverbs 1, and Proverbs 1 is all about the features and benefits of Proverbs. And when it goes through, it talks about all the features and benefits and the things that it's going to give and the features and benefits of wisdom. And when you lock into it, it's incredible. And when I looked at it, it gave the features and benefits, and they really speak for themselves. But it's when we truly, truly experience something is when we give authority through our speech. So when I've heard about something, but I've never experienced it, I talk different about it than when I've actually experienced it. And when I experience it, I'll talk with authority to people with conviction about it. And that's what God wants us to do with the relationship with him, is he doesn't want us to just know about all the features and benefits. He wants us to experience his love, his grace, his peace every single day. So why don't we get this party started?
Nothing more on my mind. I got two shines, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
December 1st is always happy time for me because we go back to the Proverbs 1, and Proverbs 1 is probably, well, I wouldn't say my favorite, but if you're joining us for the first time, this is Inchstones. So we go through the corresponding proverb, corresponding day. We take 3,000-year-old wisdom and we see how we can apply it to today. And the reason why we want to be able to look at wisdom is because wisdom is principle-based, whereas knowledge is circumstantial-based. And we want, through this whole podcast, I want to make sure that all the decisions that we make, well, hopefully it'll be all of them. It probably won't be because we have bonehead in us. And I've done this, even though knowing the right answer, applying the right answer is completely different. But it gives us a roadmap. And, my pops was really big on this, reading one page a day. And I chose Proverbs because it was small little sayings and it was things that I could consume very easy. And when I did that, what I started to realize was my pops was one to put principles in place that no matter the circumstance in my life or in my brother's lives, that we would be able to deal with those situations as opposed to just giving us knowledge in a certain area, because then we would only know about that one circumstance. And when we look wisdom-wise and it's principle-based, we literally can apply it to whatever circumstance comes our way. And so I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If this is the first time, comment, subscribe, like, and send it out to a friend because somebody needs to hear this. The features and benefits of wisdom is evident and clear in Proverbs 1. Although what God wants us to do is he doesn't just want us to sit back and be like, oh, wow, that's the features and benefits. He wants us to experience it. When you hear about a car, like, my sister-in-law just got a Tesla, and she heard about the features and benefits for quite some time, but when she experienced it, she talks about it with a completely different conviction. What God wants us to be able to do is when we experience him, his love, his joy, his peace, then we will speak about it with a different type of conviction. And there's someone out there that needs your light, your testimony, your story, and they're waiting on it. I just had a friend reach out to me today and tell me that he was having a pretty tough time. He didn't think he would be dealing with what he's dealing with at the age that he's dealing with it right now. But I got to encourage him. I got to let him know that God didn't make any mistakes and he didn't start with you. And it was just that he needed somebody to listen. And I want to tell you, you know exactly who you are. You're incredible. You're an incredible human being. God has an incredible plan for you. And although it's painful right now, he's taking you through something to build something even greater. And I want to encourage you as much as possible. encourage someone through text, through call, through email, through whatever it is, FaceTime, or just spend a little bit of time with them. Encourage, 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 encourage. So in Proverbs 1, it kind of sets the tone, for everything. And we get to restart every month. I don't know if you guys like doing this. I like restarting because sometimes I had a tough month or, whatever it was, but we get to restart every single first of the month. And you can do this weekly. If you can do this daily if you'd like. But there was a couple of questions in Proverbs 1. Number 1 was, what is it for? And then number 2 was, who is it for? And this was a question that I had over time is like, okay, whatever, Pop, like when you would tell me to read the word, whatever it was, I'll be like, well, who's it for? Or what is it for? What is this for? And it listed out the benefits, right? So watch this. It's for wisdom, instruction, insight, prudent behavior, doing what's right, just and fair, knowledge, discretion, discernment, guidance, and understanding. I mean, that's a pretty strong features and benefits list. Imagine if you had the wisdom, instruction, insight, prudent behavior, doing what's right, just and fair, knowledge, discretion, discernment, guidance, and understanding. Imagine if you were able to capture that and utilize that in any area of your life. I'm telling you, whatever you're dealing with would be better. Right? And then the second question, as I said, who's it for? And it was just very emphatic in verse 4 through 6. Everyone. It's for everyone. It's for the person that is wise, that needs more wisdom. It's for the prudent person that needs a little bit more. It's for the silly person that doesn't listen at all. And here's the wisdom for you. It's for every single person, no matter where you're at in your life. If you add wisdom to it, Proverbs will help be able to build you up. So the next one, once I hear this, that it's for everyone, and then it gives all these crazy features and benefits, now I'm a little skeptical. And I sat back a little bit and I was like, okay, how can I get it, and how much does it cost? And that's where we have challenges, right? Sometimes we'll hear the features, the benefit. Oh, this will change your life. You'll never do this again. And then we're just waiting for the ball to drop. And in this one, I just asked, like, how can I get it, and how much does it cost? And in verse 7, it says it very easily. It's free when you respect it. Like, wisdom is free when you respect it. The Proverbs are free when you respect them, but they're not free when you have to learn through making a silly decision and then having to adjust from that point. Then it's not free because it's going to cost you your time. It's going to cost you your energy. It's going to cost you your heart. But what God is saying is free when you respect it. So just respect it, right? The next question that I had is, what should I do with it? Like, once I get it, what should I do with it? Listen and store it up and fill your heart and mind. And this one comes from verse 8 and 9. In verse 8 and 9, it just hits us with it. Listen and store it up. Fill your heart first, and then fill your mind. Fill your heart with wisdom, the right use of knowledge, then fill your mind with that knowledge, and then your mind will be filled with the knowledge. Your heart will be filled with wisdom. So then when you have an idea, you can filter it with that wisdom, which is the right use of knowledge, and then you can act on it from that point and create alignment like we talked about in our last episode. And if you didn't get a chance to see that, go back and listen to episode 568. Here goes my next question is, why should I listen? Why should I listen to this? And there are forces that are just trying to distract you. They generally come in shiny packages, and that's verse 10 through 19. And the reason why you should listen to wisdom and get yourself prepared, because wars are won in peacetime preparation, yeah? So when preparation and opportunity meet, that is success. So we need to get ourselves prepared for sometimes the things that we can't see. And this was a big thing. My brother Rob came on the podcast recently, and I asked him, I said, what's the 4 things that I could get ready for and I could be prepared for, or get prepared in my life for the car accident that hasn't happened yet? And he was like, oh, that's simple. This, and that, because he's one of the top personal injury attorneys in the country. And he was like, it's very clear, but very few people are prepared. But imagine if we could take that time and, like, when I asked, like, why should I listen to this wisdom? There are forces out there that are just trying to distract you. And they generally come in shiny packages. What is the shiny package that showed up in your life that's started to distract you a little bit? And then I asked the question, where can I hear the good news? Like where can I hear it? Where can I hear of this wisdom? Where can I get it? In verse 20 through 21, it was just very easy. And it said, or when I say easy, it was simple. He said, it'll be loud and it'll be everywhere that you look for it. So wisdom will be super loud and everywhere around you if you look for it. But if you're not looking for it, it'll be very, very, very quiet and it won't be anywhere. Imagine that. He said it's free if you respect it. And he also said that it's loud and everywhere if you look for it. Wisdom is everywhere. And it's amazing because it's in so many different microcosms throughout our life. But a lot of times we just have to look for it. And the way that we start to look for it is just spending time alone with him. And here it goes, wisdom's warning. This was the warning that went down in verse 22 through 32. It's a simple choice, although not easy. The consequences make it silly not to choose wisdom. When you look at in verse 22 through 32, you look at all the consequences of not listening to wisdom and not locking into Proverbs, which is 3,000-year-old wisdom that will, take and transcend circumstance. It's a simple choice, although not easy. The consequences make it silly. Like when you look at the consequences of it, it makes it silly not to choose wisdom. But when you look at the features and benefits, it makes it silly not to choose it also. But once we experience it, not just listen off the features and benefits, but when we experience it, that's when we really start to talk with conviction, move with conviction, and speak with authority. And there's a difference between someone speaking with authority and somebody talking about something they know nothing about. You see, this is how we built our business throughout the country. $1 million locations in 1,000 square foot with 19 to 24-year-olds. We had salons all over the country. And when we did, what we wanted to do is we wanted to have features and benefits, but also we didn't do that with any marketing. We did that with no advertisement. But the reason why is because we wanted people to experience it. Once they experienced it, they spoke with authority. They became evangelists of the features and benefits. They become evangelists of the gospel because they had experienced it. What God wants us to do is he wants you to experience his love, experience his grace, experience the peace that passes all understanding. Then when you go out and tell the story, it's going to have credibility because it'll have authority. There's so many people in your life right now that need to hear that. And the last question I had is like, in the event, right? In the event that I mess up, that I screw up, and this is the life that I want to speak to my buddy today. You know exactly who you are. I'm not going to say your name, but you know who you are. We were talking and you're a brother of mine. You're not just a friend. And you walked with my pops and you lifted my pops up so much. And he made a comment about, a point in his life, an age in his life. And he didn't think that he would be at this point. And so the question I had, is it ever too late? Do we make too many mistakes? Did we screw up too much? And what God said in verse, 33, God's grace does not start when you accept it. That is when you'll recognize it, though. Let me say it again. God's grace does not start when you accept it. That is when you'll recognize it, though, because when you accept it in your life, you'll start walking in it and you'll experience it. You won't just be talking about the features and benefits, but he wants to give the features and benefits. He wants to tell you where and how to be able to get it. How much does it cost? He wants to give you all those things. He wants you to understand the consequences if you don't listen to it, but he also wants to tell you right now that it's never too late. There's nothing that you could do, nothing, absolutely nothing, that if you came right now, no matter what it is, and you said, hey, look, it's time. I want to recognize that grace. I want to accept that grace into my life, that he wouldn't just start, he would wipe it away. He would absolutely wipe it away. And so choosing wisdom should be a no-brainer. It's not complicated, and the benefits are endless. So start with me. It's December 1st, and I challenge you on this. Start with me and go through the corresponding proverb for the corresponding day. Do your study. Read it and see how the word starts to read you. God wants to spend time with you. He wants to talk with you. He wants to have you experience him. He wants you to experience his love, his joy, his peace that will pass all understanding. And then when you do, you'll speak with authority about it through your message and through your, whether it be your business, your relationships, all those things, because he wants you to feel it and he wants you to experience it. So you talk about it with credibility and authority. I want to thank you guys so much. And I want to tell you this, like, not everything's going to be perfect. The recording before this one, we actually went to record an episode and it didn't work out. It halfway through, it started, sputtering, all the things. But what God wants you to know is that his will is perfect and he could bounce you right back. It's never too late, no matter what it is. And there's always forces, guys. I could tell you this, there's always forces at work trying to stop that, but continue on. I want to encourage you today. Hopefully you have a phenomenal day. And make sure that you subscribe, you like, you comment, share it with a friend. Somebody needs to hear this. So thank you so much for hanging with me. It's been another episode of Inchstones. My name is Kelly Cardenas, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.
Nothing more on my mind. I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised.